So starting in the west, we have ZertoN. As I said, he's playing his Celts. ZertoN is the player who has had the most tournament wins out of any players over the past few years. Ever since Celeste started again. I think he has 3 tournament wins so far. And well, he won his group. His first place right there. And his challenger today is Poseidon. He came second in his group. So ZertoN definitely favored here. But Poseidon, he's been playing for a long time. He played in the original game a lot. He is the king of the ladder. He's usually in the top 3 of the ladder every season. So he spams those games. So let's see if he improved enough to take on the mighty ZertoN. Of course, we're playing on inland, which again spawned 5 pawns. We have the heart-shaped pond right here, Mickey Mouse pond over here, potato pond. So ZertoN making a barracks. Let's see what Poseidon is doing actually. He's making a barracks, but his barracks is a lot later than ZertoN's. ZertoN has the 5 villagers on food here. Just now going for a wood storehouse, so ZertoN's storehouse a bit later, but Poseidon's barracks a bit later. And of course I'm keeping an eye out to see if any of the players go and sneak on and take one of the ponds. ZertoN scout circling around the base of Poseidon, trying to find an opening. He knows exactly what's going on, and this hunt is really close to the starting town center of Poseidon. And he is getting 8th. Also Poseidon very nicely using his scout to hit these spearmen as they cross the map, so already some HP off the spearmen there. Just going around now, but Poseidon is doing a nice job making a wall here. So far an excellent defense by Poseidon. I think ZertoN just turned around the moment he saw those houses, yeah. So very nice. So of course this will become a problem once these deer run out for Poseidon, which won't be in too long. As you can see, ZertoN is already on 2 hunts. Let's see where the second hunt is for Poseidon. There's one over here. I think that's the one he wants to go for. Meanwhile, we see the villager crossing the map. So ZertoN has full map control right now, and he can get away with building docks. I think that scout just passed right by there. He did not scout it. Oh, that was really close. ZertoN making sure that Poseidon is not heading on the water. Spreading his spearmen very nicely. Actually, he has a lot of spearmen. 6 over here, 6 over here. He's training even more. He's almost to H2 already. He's going to be there a bit faster than Poseidon, but he is not gathering any stone quite yet. He wants to first control the ponds, taking the map control. He's going straight in the woodline with these spearmen. Very nice. Coming from the other side with the other spearmen. Some nice multi-pronged attack here. Some villagers have to run away. He's taking down the storehouse. And making sure Poseidon is in his base while he takes the docks. Actually, he's making another dock over here. In Poseidon's pond. So I really like this play by ZertoN. He has a pond really close by. But because he is the aggressor right now, he's taking advantage of his position and basically denying this pond, which is really on Poseidon's side. So Poseidon will have his town center up a lot faster. He's sitting at 20 villagers right now to the 23 from ZertoN. He's housed right now, so ZertoN is doing a good job in delaying the villager production of Poseidon. As you can see, the queue of Poseidon has been empty for a while. He's very distracted with these spearmen just constantly running around his base. But he will catch up in the villager count. Well, maybe not if ZertoN really takes all of the ponds. Poseidon forced to go on berries. ZertoN is having some house problems as well at home. Decided to go for the barracks and he may just be able to take it. There are so many spearmen right here. 13 spearmen. Already some longswordsmen in the mix as well. And this group of infantry from ZertoN can easily take on these few Sparabara. And Poseidon very nicely mixing in an archery range. ZertoN just making some fishing boats for now. No need for a swan ship just yet. ZertoN kind of having some issues with his food right now. He has 700 food in the bank. He very nicely only has the fishing boats right now. He's doing a really nice job scouting around all the ponds to make sure that Poseidon is not gathering from right there. Right, but now there are bowmen out, so these counter infantry. I think he will need a little bit more than one, but soon he will be able to scare away the army of ZertoN. Poseidon is really not doing a good job in making villagers though. He's falling behind, I feel. Just 3 behind right now, even though he should have caught up, I think, with the second town center. ZertoN only now gathering stone. Very nicely, ZertoN getting net lures for some conservation. And the bowman count is growing though. I think this is maybe the point where ZertoN needs some slingers in his army. I think he was already making some. I saw the archery range over here. So there's the first one, I think. I think ZertoN will need a little bit more before he can take on this army. So he's gathering his troops. There's the 2 slingers right here. There's a third one over here. And he is ahead 20 population. And I think by now he can probably just take on that army. The scout of Poseidon going down. ZertoN just taking every pond in the game. Looks like Poseidon made the stables. So he added the second archery range, made the stables. Very nicely killing the scout of ZertoN. And there's 19 bowmen right now. These bowmen train really fast. At a 9-second. And this is a scary growing Persian army. I feel like the larger the populations get, the harder it becomes for the Celt player to have a nice engagement. Villager count 46 to the 46, so Poseidon finally caught up. ZertoN still has to make his town center. He's up to 800 stone right now. I think he completely forgot about it. I think this is a world record right here, guys. Will he finish the stone mine? Should I keep the stone mine highlighted? And a very nice defense here by Poseidon. He moved his wood gatherers to the back a while ago. Got an armory, no upgrades yet. But if you look at the population, he is pushing ahead a little bit. He's actually up in villagers right now. See if ZertoN has an armory yet. He's just building a second town center right now. Didn't make any fishing boats here just yet. Let's see what Poseidon knows. He doesn't know about any of the ponds yet. His scouting has not been the greatest. Oh, ZertoN finding all these villagers here. They're not running away, so that's a lot of villager kills right there. Putting ZertoN ahead by 5 villagers now. Let's see, where's the army of Poseidon? There's a raid going on at the top as well. Poseidon's army is somewhere caught in the middle. Ooh, and he may actually catch ZertoN here. There are 4 druids here, so these armies, they move at the same speed. I think all the... oh, here's the raiding party. Will be cleaned up as well. And in the meantime, ZertoN has been... he's gone to the 3rd age. So he just bought himself enough time to go to the 3rd age, and I think he's going for some world raiders, judging from that he's building 3 more barracks. Poseidon very nicely splitting his army, taking care of the dock that was his all along. And we see another raiding party by ZertoN on the left side of the map. On the right side of the map, his other army is also returning to Poseidon's base. And Poseidon is just cleaning up all the docks, I feel. No spawn ship yet for ZertoN. Or they're killing each other's dock. Interesting. These 4 fishing boats can't drop off anymore. But ZertoN is doing a nice job catching these villagers. Time and time again. He's now 7 villagers ahead. Starting to become a serious advantage. Zeus is here with 43 bowmen, 17 Sparabara. Kind of have a base trade scenario here almost. Zeus does have a lot of units to defend, I feel. I think ZertoN was just making world raiders. Oh, there's actually a lot of world raiders already. 28. So it's all going to be about getting a nice position. And this position for Zeus is really nice. In between the houses. So his army is pretty well defended, but his units are not really doing much. I mean, range damage against buildings just doesn't deal a lot of damage. Let's see how ZertoN's push is going. He's actually hitting the economy of Poseidon. This village is dying here. So it looks like ZertoN is getting the better end of the deal here. I want to see the world raider flank though. They're still waiting. ZertoN is absolutely fine with Zeus killing a few houses and doing a little bit of damage to some buildings. Poseidon now down to 40 villagers. To the 67. This town center may go down though. There may have to be a repair party. Okay, it looks like here we go. The bowmen are a little bit exposed. The Parabara. Oh my god, there's another party on the top. 57 world raiders coming from all sides. He doesn't even need to delete the house because there's so many. Oh my god. And that's a game-ending flank. GG. Very convincing win there by ZertoN. Alright, so Poseidon can pick the next map now. Both players have to switch Civ. Actually, they don't have to switch Civ. They can switch Civ in the third game if they want to. So looking at the current villager population here, Poseidon was creeping forward, but he lost a lot of villagers to all those raids. So very nice job by ZertoN. Right, so Poseidon picks Arabia. Very nice. ZertoN killing a few more units here in this last game. A few more techs. Actually, this is a very big difference in resources gathered. Yeah, so not many engagements happening if you look at the current military population here. It's just that base trade at the end. I think had the game gone on for a few more seconds, then we would have seen Poseidon's army plummet here actually. GG. Alright everyone, we're back. Poseidon picked Arabia. Oh, this is an interesting thing we see right here at the start. ZertoN deciding to go for the berry bush. It actually goes for the hippos. Of course he can heal his scout back up with the A-tent. Poseidon very nicely finding a hunt very close to his base. So nice to see Arabia being played. It's one of the bigger maps in the game. Very nice hunt there, and actually going for hunting dogs very nice, and I think Poseidon should do the same. So hunting dogs was buffed in the recent patch, and now also gives 25% conservation. So that's really massive. So instead of 1,000 food, you would have 1,250 food right here.
Blessings upon you.
Let's see those epic battles, baby.
Thanks for the donation, BB Gambini. Let's see those epic battles indeed. So for both players, their tournament life is on the line here. There is no losers bracket. This is it. The winner advances to the semi-finals, and the loser is out of the tournament. So let's see what Poseidon is up to. Looks like no fast barracks for him. Looks like we'll have a booming game. And of course, as we all know, the Babylonians are a very good civilization at booming with their gardens. Never mind. Looks like Poseidon is going for barracks after all, and he has the worst timing because ZertoN scout just passed by. If I was Poseidon and I saw that, I would cancel the barracks anyway. Maybe trick ZertoN into thinking that you're making a fast barracks. ZertoN responding quickly by making his own barracks. Yeah, I think ZertoN has the same idea as I have, so it's just coming back to double check if there's really a barracks. And his scout is a bit low, so it's going to be tricky if he wants to hit these spearmen crossing the map. He could potentially do a lot of damage because it's a very long rush distance. I can take you all the way with this very slow camera. Looks like ZertoN is not going for it. He's just scouting out Poseidon's side of the map. ZertoN has the Sparrow Barra right here. He has the absolute safest food ever in the corner of Arabia. There's no way units of Poseidon can pass through there. He's almost up to H2. And Poseidon has not started the ziggurat yet. He does have the resources for it. He could build it right now to head it to the next age. The scout is getting dangerously low as well. So ZertoN already has the 300 stone. He's up to the second age. He's getting handsaw, very nice. Can just make a safe town center here. So it's looking pretty good for ZertoN. These spearmen are not doing anything really. Maybe hoping to catch ZertoN off guard if he was hunting. Or actually ZertoN was hunting. And the hunt has just run out, so ZertoN will have to transition to berries. So maybe a small win for Poseidon there, that he is still able to hunt. And of course ZertoN is now forced to build a second town center in a position that he doesn't like. He would have much preferred this position, I can think. Over here. Let's see what Poseidon is doing. The ziggurat's almost done. He's getting a lot of gold. He's not even near having enough resources for a town center. 6 spearmen, 7 spearmen, 8 spearmen. He's investing in a lot of spearmen, so I feel he has to make something happen. Because ZertoN is now shooting up in the villager count. He has the double production going. Poseidon coming in, trying to snipe this stables. It was almost done. Nice reaction by ZertoN to immediately finish it and repair it. And, Poseidon is just going in now. He's going for the villagers. There's 5 Sparrow Bar here to defend. Some nice defense by ZertoN. Stable survives. There's the town center by Poseidon. He's adding some gardens. It's going to be an essential building in this game. I think he can afford a few more. Oh, very nice. So ZertoN going for the double stables. Looks like he will be playing this a bit aggressively. His other options would have been to go for a more boomy game, perhaps an early market or even paid labor. An archery range from Poseidon, very interesting. So no fast stable play, no lancer spam. Just some gardens and archery range in barracks. ZertoN doing a really nice job with his 32 HP scout running around. And I like how Poseidon is getting the PvP tag to heal his scout. Just in time. ZertoN now getting a tent. The scout is returning to base and also is going to get healed up. So ZertoN, because he got his town center up, he is quite ahead in the villager count. Will be able to afford a bit more units. He's actually going for a push right now. Maybe wants to hit a nice timing. He is up in the population a little bit, but of course there's going to be some units crossing the map. And Poseidon's army right now is just 14 spearmen. Don't see any archers yet. Very nice, these spearmen catching the villagers. It's actually very annoying. And some Asabara coming back to defend. And Poseidon behind all of this is going to the 3rd age. Very nice micro by ZertoN here, saving the one Asabara. Did the scout die? No. It's still alive. Healed up. I'm a bit puzzled what Poseidon's plan is. He has the gardens, maybe he just wants more and more gardens because he can afford more. It looks like that is what he's thinking about. There's lots of gardens. And boom. Usually people go for lots of stables to accompany that, so that's why the archery range is a bit puzzling. Then again, he only has the 7 bowmen right now. ZertoN responding by also going to the third edge. And he's already set up for an Asabara mounted archer combination. Asabara count is growing. ZertoN also getting some nice upgrades. Poseidon not really able to leave his base. He still has some food over here. There's a very nice spawn for him actually with the berries over here. ZertoN getting some more stone for his third town center. And there's going to be a moment where Poseidon has to leave his small base. He is surrounded by ZertoN really. There's watch posts everywhere. If you look at ZertoN's vision right now, he's locking in Poseidon. Looks like Poseidon is also thinking about this fast moving army which we usually see on this map. Nice town center location from ZertoN. Will be very nice for a market line. Let's quickly check the woods so they can go around here a little bit. Yeah, actually if you put some market right over here, that would be a very nice and safe market line. So I think what Greeky is saying, he doesn't understand what Poseidon is doing, so I think he just wanted the archery range to defend against a potential push by ZertoN, and now he's going for the stable play. Actually still making archers. No, I agree. I'm not sure what he's doing as well. Maybe we will see one big push with the entire Babylonian arsenal. He already has 20 bowmen. Meanwhile we see ZertoN going for the fast moving army, so he I think it's just going to be Asabara champion and mounted archer from now on. It's very nicely walling off his side of the map. And nicely loses only one Asabara, two Asabaras. And Poseidon now adding his own walls. And he does have the garden economy going. Could get cultivation for some more food. Both players at 85 villagers. So pretty even game still. And Poseidon managed to secure his own side of the map, which was tricky, but I think he did it. The Asabara are now back. And actually this is a scary looking army for ZertoN. He should heal those up. He has the map control with the watch posts. And I think the main benefit of ZertoN's army here is its speed. So I think in a straight up fight Poseidon's army could win, but ZertoN can just run around, never head on engage the army. I think that's exactly what we'll see. There are some lances leaving here. ZertoN actually going in. I didn't expect this. We did find a nice position on the bowman. Can kite a little bit with the mounted archers, but of course he's counter cavalry, so they don't do that much damage against the spearmen. And again, we have a kind of a base trade situation, but there's upgraded balls here. Which don't last for that long. So ZertoN's army broke through. There are some exposed villages over here. Meanwhile, Zeus is also heading into the economy, and there's a market line already gone up. I think on both sides there's really nothing to defend, so it's really about damage control here. I think ZertoN just straight up targeting the town center. Doing some very nice damage control here, running away with all his villagers. I think he's going here, yeah, very nice. Meanwhile, Zeus villagers are stuck in the town center, which will actually fall. Is there anything from Poseidon to defend here? The spearmen have gone a bit further up. Where's the market? Oh, it's over here. And Poseidon is just content in saying here. Both players are stacking up a large number of resources, by the way. ZertoN can go H4 right now. And Zeus just has to quickly buy some stone. Not too late. Actually, I think he was able to sell some of his food just before the market fell. There it is, the H4 for ZertoN. So I think the main things he will be wanting to get from H4 here is the mounted archer champion. Looks like he got away. And after that, Poseidon is sitting at 78 villagers to the 89 for ZertoN. But his market is falling, so there is some nice damage still being dealt by Poseidon. Very nicely, he left one Asabara here to deny the market. There's a fort way back here. I think it was kind of a panic fort because ZertoN was expecting a base trade, but the army of Poseidon is just going back, and this is not a good position from him. Where are the spears? There's only 5 spearmen here. It's basically just bowmen caught in the open. A very nice trade by ZertoN here. The spearmen were over here. Yeah, you really need those spearmen to deal with the Asabara. Yeah, the reinforcements are arriving, but I think it's too late, and run away. Right, so it's like horseshoes is the tech of choice here in H4 for ZertoN. These units are also getting caught. ZertoN is pushing the base. Poseidon is able to remax, but his army is still a bit smaller, I feel. This is yes, the defender right here. ZertoN's army looking very strong. He did get that H4 upgrade. There's a lot of army upgrades. Everything in H3 almost. Zeus' army is dwindling. He does have some very nice upgrades of his own, but he just doesn't have the numbers. And is forced to tap out there. So well played by ZertoN. putting Zeus on match point. Yeah, so even though both players build the barracks early on, a very boomy game. We're equal in the villager count. It was a nice base trade, and I think Zeus was still in it. He just should have tried to keep all his units together. I think the main reason he lost over here is because he had the spearmen on the left side and his reinforcements were still at home. While ZertoN had his complete army together. And it's also because his unit just moved a bit faster. ZertoN gathering a little bit more. A few more techs. And this is a big difference in the unit skill and lost. Oh my god. Right, GG. Poseidon picking equal footing for his final stand. Yeah, we'll be right back with the next game.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So welcome
Nice.
to game 3. Let me quickly switch the scenes. Yes, here we go. So joining me is PF2K, one of the lead developers. I'm sure you all know him. No need for introductions.
Hello.
So what do you think of these last 2 games?
They were pretty good. I'm not sure about the move out by Poseidon at the end with his with half of his army with the spearmen being away, but overall it was pretty decent. Now Poseidon is back on his comfortable Persians. I mean, the civ he's most comfortable with, but he's going against Celts, so.
I was just about to say, this is usually the matchup where you have a lot of opinions on. So what do you think about this matchup?
As a Persian player, this is my least favorite matchup to play because Celts can be so aggressive and just shut you off everywhere on the map. But That's also because of how I play Persians. Some people like to play them more aggressively, and Poseidon is certainly one of them. But that being said, ZertoN's Celts are also really scary, so I'm curious to see how Poseidon deals with it.
Yeah, and speaking of aggression, I think ZertoN is probably one of the more aggressive Celt players as well.
For sure.
Multi-pronged raids. He already played them in game 1 and he was just attacking from all sides. That's a
Yeah,
very
that
nice
inner
raid.
Terran,
Yeah.
inner Terran from StarCraft just popping off here.
Exactly.
But Poseidon's already rallying Sparbar to his hunt storehouse, so he's gonna be good. But that wood storehouse kind of worries me because it's outside the range of the TC completely. Although that barracks is opening with some natural walling, that's pretty nice. He only
Yeah.
needs to get a tent now.
And it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let me remove the chat header. Yeah, so nice wall here by Poseidon. And maybe if you add some houses, you will be completely safe. But so far, ZertoN just rallying a spearman in his own base.
Does it just have like only a legendary shirt and a spearman and nothing else? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think he has the same on his longswordsman.
Hipster. They just randomly found a shirt in a store, but in reality, they had no money to buy anything.
Exactly.
Just snatched it.
And it looks like ZertoN is going for a different strategy here, going for a bit of a faster age up.
No
Actually-
stone either.
Actually, never mind, he just needs the houses. I thought his houses were a bit early, but I think he's just going for the lots of spearmen that he showed in game 1. And Zeus is actually on the
Oh.
offense.
Well, I don't know about this. Because if they engage, the Sparbars are there forever. Oh man, this is not looking good. I'm scared now.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
very bad for Poseidon. And
ZertoN can just chase forever and perma-snare these Barbaras.
yes. Poseidon already switching to potentially berries. He doesn't have a second hand right now. Actually, there was
Right.
probably a stone storehouse.
That's a pretty nice wall with the houses, actually.
Oh yeah,
Oh well, never mind. I mean, it's still pretty good. It makes a natural wall for the wood line. Oh, but these spearmen now are coming in. Luckily for Zeus, he's already abandoned the hunt. I mean, it's run out, so.
yeah. Where is he going for food right now? He just put everything on stone. He has 10 villagers on stone right now.
He has some villagers on the cows, actually. If you look next to the TC, behind the TC, he's gathering.
Oh, you're right.
But he has 600 food right there. And I think he has 2 more coming, if I saw right. Maybe I'm
Villagers?
wrong, actually. No, 2 more cows.
Yeah, there
Oh,
were.
but ZertoN's completely surrounded the base of Poseidon, though. His scout is on the right side. His group of spearmen is on the left side, so Poseidon is kind of stuck here for now. And these berries and these cows are his only source of food at the moment. Yeah, he's going for a super defensive
very
TC.
defensive. And, good to note that ZertoN also got hunting dogs.
Nice.
He also got it last game. So very nice to see this upgrade finally being researched. We did it.
You know, it
behind the
actually helps with the cows too now, like with the conservation. If you get it, each cow is effectively 250 food. So not only do you gather faster from it, it also contains more food. But here comes the group of spearmen from ZertoN. Is he gonna go for the TC?
He's going for the
Oh
villagers
wow,
on the TC.
this is
It's an interesting
no
move out.
8 though.
There's no 8-10, there's 11 spearmen here. Against the 9 Sparabara. I don't think any villagers have died so far. Oh, there's more coming to the town center. Oh, nice micro.
Yeah, this is not going so bad for Poseidon actually. Like, ZertoN's losing a lot of spearmen at this in this engagement.
He did a nice job of
And,
finding the low HP villagers though. He killed 1 there, I think only. 20 villagers right now to the 24 of ZertoN. So maybe he
But-
killed a few more or Poseidon had an empty queue. But overall, nice defense there by Poseidon.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a bit surprised by the TC positioning of ZertoN. in this matchup as Celts, you kind of want to, get all the map for yourself as early as you can. But I mean, that berry spot at least, or the gold, or that berry, yeah, or maybe in the back there's a hunt that he could probably secure the TC and the gold. But I mean, I guess it's fine. Oh, and the longswordsman, you're right. only a legendary shirt. These guys just invaded a clothing store, but never actually went to a weapon store. Oh, and this is really nice by Poseidon. I think he's gonna get one villager at least. Nice. Yeah. And back home is pretty safe, thanks to the double TC. But he needs to research 810. Does he have 810?
No.
No. Oh yeah, that's a critical upgrade.
Yeah, that probably could have saved him losing that one villager during ZertoN's attack.
Also, these Barbara are also low, like basically half dead army. But if he gets 810, he can heal back up.
If they can get back to their 810s, because they are being chased by a group of angry longswordsmen.
Yes, but the thing is, these longswordsmen don't have snares, so as long as there are no spearmen accompanying these guys, he should be able to save most of these Barbaras. But let's see, he's just baiting ZertoN into chasing him all over the map, buying himself some time back home to build
buying
up.
himself some time, yeah, making lots of archers.
Yeah, even getting a stable.
Yeah, I like
So
it.
maybe he wants to get some Asabar raids going.
Yeah, ZertoN is going on the offense. He's had enough of chasing him around.
Yeah.
2 archery ranges
Double
actually for him.
archer range.
Double barracks, and he has the Sacred Grove as well. No druids yet.
Nice.
Oh,
I wonder if he's gonna get any sacred deer for gathering.
yeah. So for gathering food. Yeah, ZertoN did play his Celts in the first game, but there we played inland, and he had enough food from all the ponds, so he did not get it there. So, but I'm hoping to see them here as well. When Poseidon
Yeah,
taking this
oh.
engagement in low numbers, usually you want to wait till you
Yeah.
have a bit higher unit count.
Yes. So the thing is, in slinger battles, you really want to avoid fighting the guy with the slingers in lower numbers, because that's when the slinger player can just micro his slingers onto your bowman. So ideally, you want to have a big army, so before the slingers can start doing some work, your archers take care of the enemy front line. But that's not what happened there. The slingers just destroyed the bowman. But that being said, no spearmen here, so I mean only a few joining in just now. These Asavars are mostly uncontested here, though. As I say that, a lot of front line for Poseidon goes down already.
Yeah, so what ZertoN is able to do here is just select 2 or 3 of his slingers and right click or shift right click on the bowman. And of course, as numbers grow bigger, it becomes impossible to do that for all your slingers.
Yeah.
I like this long swordsman
Just-
defending the hunt here.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's something ZertoN has always been good at. Just keeping tabs on his opponent's resources, especially their golds. Like even in like really old times, like in the original game, I remember ZertoN always kept an eye on people's gold mines and always tried to deny them from getting gold.
Yeah, lucky for Zeus, or for Poseidon I should say. He has a safe gold mine in the back of his base. He's more than enough gold for now. But he is down in the unit count because of those engagements just now.
Yeah. The score is very much in favor of ZertoN at the moment, who is gathering a massive army.
He's also getting some upgrades, so he's going for barbed arrows here. What do you think about this
I mean,
first choice for an army
that's-
upgrade?
Yeah, that's kind of strange, because I think regardless of your pierce damage upgrades, your slingers will always two-shot the bowman. So maybe he wants to like make his slingers better against the Barbara when he does a micro or something like that. But personally, I would probably go for the a pierce armor upgrade first.
Okay, so we have a question in the chat. Shermtank is asking, he's saying he's a complete noob here. Can someone tell me why A10 is critical instead of techs like the gathering speed upgrades?
Oh well, I mean, the reason A10 is so important, especially in this matchup, is because it allows you to heal your units back up. And in the very early game, it basically negates the presence of one spearman because it heals at 10 health per second. So you can basically micro your units around, and if they just need to not die. If they don't die to the enemy when you clear the attacker's attack, it will just heal your unit back to full. So I wouldn't say that it's more important than the economic upgrades, but it's an upgrade that you really need to have. And actually, I just noticed that A10 doesn't say how much it heals per second. I need to add a tooltip, like one of those green decks, like the farm upgrade. If you hover over it, it says like 15% gather rate. I need to add one of those for A10 plus 10 health per second.
Very good.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'll do that.
More information is better.
Course,
unless we have like
especially if it's
screen full tooltips.
Oh no, not the AoE 3 tooltips. No, thank you.
Right, so ZertoN snuck to H3 behind all of this, and he's making a lot of Woad Raiders. So did you see the Woad Raider flank in game 1?
Yeah, that was crazy. But look at the minimap. Like ZertoN just covering all over the base of Poseidon. He's gonna attack at both sides, so at least one army is guaranteed to do some damage. Already taking out a house, and Poseidon just moving his entire army to attack. While on the right side, there's a group attacking the houses. But ZertoN needs to be careful. This Persian army is no longer like a small one, so he definitely has a chance of defending all of this.
I think ZertoN is buying himself some time to go for the Woad Raider transition right here.
Yeah, freeing up some population. He doesn't seem to have a market set up though, so...
He's throwing away a lot of units though. Poseidon is now ahead in the villager or in the population count. And down, he's actually down 20 villagers, so...
Oh my god. Huge army. Huge army in comparison.
So there may be a small window here for Poseidon to push in. Do some damage.
Yes.
Maybe push over here.
I mean... Yeah, so the thing is like... ZertoN only has barracks, I mean, except for the 2 archery ranges, so... If Poseidon can like overwhelm this army and keep his army mostly unscathed, it will be hard for ZertoN to trickle in reinforcements to defend. But here come the Woad Raiders, and still no A10 from Poseidon, I think. Yeah, right. You really need to research that upgrade.
Yeah, all these villagers that are low, there's like 4 already here. They would have all been full health. Definitely worth it at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here's a small army from ZertoN, but at the same time, Poseidon is pushing at the base of ZertoN. But now he's having second thoughts. Oh, never mind, he's not pushing in again. Oh, these villagers are not long for this world. But yeah, ZertoN wreaking havoc back in the woodline of Poseidon at the same time. Even bringing in some druids with the raiding groups. That sustain is crazy.
Poseidon down to 29 villagers.
Oh my god, that's a resign. That's once again a pretty premature resign, I would say. He still had a good shot at taking out a lot of ZertoN's base, but GG. ZertoN takes it 3-0.
Yeah, GG. I agree. Looks like Poseidon kind of gave up there. Maybe he was a bit demotivated after having lost 2 games, so he didn't even bother garrisoning his villagers. And then lost them all.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yes.
So let me update the score. Yeah, so ZertoN very convincingly kicking Poseidon out of the tournament and going on to the semi-finals. Let's take a quick look at the stats here. So look at this villager graph dipping here. Poseidon keeping up, but not as well as ZertoN.
Yeah, look at that. At one point, he had a much bigger army, actually.
Yeah, so
And I
especially
think
after having
at like
defended
the 8
there.
minute mark is where he fought outside of his base with the low numbers, and the Slingers just took out his Bowman Ball really fast. Yeah, that's the place.
Yeah, this was a very good trade for ZertoN right here. So Poseidon should have probably waited a little bit longer until he had a few more units and maybe an armory upgrade or two. But still, ZertoN, by going H3, was not able to produce as many units as Poseidon. And there was still a small window of opportunity near the end of the game, I feel. He still has a massive army, really. Even at the very end, his unit count
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm
larger,
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ZertoN's productions are like all melee units, and melee units, like for trickling in, it's not very good to just send in some woads or even longswordsmen into a big Persian army with a lot of bowmen behind. So I think Poseidon still had a good shot. Maybe if he just like garrisoned his villagers inside his TC and then defended with his own reinforcements, he could have had a shot for sure. But I guess like since like you said, being already behind 2-0, and you know just as I think he also has this like um thing with when he plays against like top players, he doesn't like feel confident as he normally would against other people, so that may also have had a role in this early resign. But